Good evening everyone, Mike Palmer from Know Your Rights Group and Success Coaching International with a very exciting and very powerful update video for you tonight. Now this is something that affects all Australians, so I hope there's plenty of you tuning in to watch this because we've got some really exciting news to share with you this evening. Obviously the biggest news of this week is that the proposed arbitrary detention legislation that Dan Andrews was trying to bring in as part of the proposed Omnibus Bill has been defeated purely because of people power, and that is just fantastic. Now, even though the government only provided 24 hours basically for the public to make their submissions, they were absolutely overwhelmed. Something like 9,000 people managed to put in submissions in that tiny amount of time. Plenty of other people emailed their members of parliament, and the pressure was on, and it actually forced Andrews to abandon those specific changes to the legislation. Now, I'm going to read out the article. Now, I'm going to make a point here. I can't do everything for you guys. Every single time I do a video, someone goes, "Oh, can you post a link to the article?" No, I'm reading out the title of the article. I'll tell you where it's from. Jump online and find the article for yourselves. Okay, if there's super important ones, I will put those up on our website, but just general articles, please put in a little bit of effort yourselves and try and find them. So there it is. There's the two articles that I'm going to read out for you. You can pause this video later on and go back, but this one's entitled Andrews Government Abandons Controversial Arbitrary Detention Legislation. Okay, and it's from The Age, and it says this: the Andrews government has bowed to pressure and agreed to abandon controversial legislation designed to make it easier to detain people during the coronavirus pandemic. Legal experts and civil rights groups had raised concerns over the COVID-19 Omnibus Emergency Measures and Other Acts Amendment Bill, warning the proposed powers would be unprecedented, excessive, and open to abuse. The government faced fierce backlash from the opposition and upper house crossbench MPs over the bill that would have allowed the government to make anyone an authorised officer with the power to arrest people with coronavirus or their close contacts whom the officer reasonably believed was likely to breach emergency directions. So as you can see, this was a horrendous bill, a completely unlawful bill, and thankfully people have woken up, and it is a huge congratulations to all of you out there watching this. Okay, because you guys and girls, you are the digital warriors out there. Okay, you are the ones that have realised that the pen truly is mightier than the sword. Okay, and we have had a huge win here. Now, it's not all over. There's still a long way to go, but hopefully what this shows you, okay, is that people power bombarding these MPs with submissions, with my will letters, with emails, all those things really does work and can produce some really, really powerful results. Now, if there's anyone out there who's watching this that still does not have a copy of our book, The Essential Step-by-Step Manual for Understanding and Exercising Your Rights, please grab this book, because in addition to all the other wonderful information in there, there's those all-important My Will letters that can be adapted and edited to suit a whole range of various scenarios. And it's those My Will letters, those submissions, all those things that, as we've just proven, really do have a powerful impact. Of course, there's links in the description to find those. Now, the other important point that I want to make is that the bill is still going ahead, and they are still pushing for people like police officers, PSOs, and various other entities to become authorised persons. Now, clearly, that would not be necessary if they already were. Okay, again, I can't spell out the importance of this enough. So again, reading from that same article, it goes on to say, Attorney General Jill Hennessy said the amended bill explicitly specified who could be appointed as an authorised officer, as well as setting out the limits on powers they could exercise. Now there's another article, this one's from The Guardian, and it's entitled Victoria's Daniel Andrews to Scrap Controversial Detention Powers in a Bid to Pass COVID Omnibus Bill. Now it says that Andrews government will scrap preventative detention powers and tighten the restrictions about who can be an authorised officer in a bid to pass a controversial bill seen as vital to Victoria's response to a second wave of coronavirus cases. According to a table outlining the proposed amendments seen by The Guardian Australia, police and protective services officers will still be able to be appointed as authorised officers, but with lesser powers than had previously been allowed. Now remember, this is an amendment bill. Okay, so if they are still trying to give police officers powers, it means that they do not currently have them. This is vitally important, okay, because this is what Nathan Buckley from G&B Lawyers has been saying all along, that all of these fines are unlawful, okay? The police, unless they have been specifically authorised, okay, by way of an instrument, a document that specifically names that police officer, they have no authority to act as an authorised officer. Now this is key, because once you get your head around this concept, you'll understand that any fine that is issued, any COVID-related fine that is issued by a police officer is unlawful. And once you then get your head around that and you start to connect the dots, you can finally decide for yourself wearing one of these pathetic, flimsy paper masks is really in your best interest. Okay, because here's the problem. I still get emails, I still talk to people in the street, and so many people are still wearing these things, not because they think it's the best thing for them, but because they're worried about getting a fine. So once you understand that these fines are completely unlawful, then you can make a decision based on your personal medical history as to whether or not you think that is good for you, or whether it may possibly, potentially, actually cause you to become sicker. Now, I can't say too much here because in my last video, which was entitled, and I'll tell you where it is here if I can find it. No, I can't at the moment, but I'll get back to you. Okay, it was actually removed. I think it was facts that everyone should know. Some powerful facts that everyone should know. That's what it's called. It was actually removed from YouTube just the other day. So that would suggest that obviously the bots didn't like what we said on that video, and they probably didn't like it because we said a few things that hit a little close to the truth. So I urge you, please go to our BitChute channel and search for that title, Some Powerful Facts That Everyone Should Know, and you can watch the full video there because, as I said, it was deleted from YouTube the other day. Now, that's really important because I highlighted some articles, which again, obviously YouTube and Facebook don't want out there, about how these masks are actually causing some people to get very, very sick. So again, please watch that video. Now, this might also be a really great time for you to write to the Premier, to the Chief Health Officer, to the Health Minister, and just ask them a few simple questions. Are you prepared to guarantee that if I wear one of these flimsy paper masks, I will not be adversely affected? And if you are not prepared to give me your personal written guarantee, then I will be forced to take what action I deem is appropriate for me and my health, and I will show any response or any lack of response to that letter to any person who questions me if I choose not to wear one of these. Okay, these are very simple but very powerful letters that I urge you all to write. And again, I remind you, no one can force you to wear something or do something or not do something if it might affect your physical or mental well-being. So please keep that in mind. All right, now the next bit of good news that I want to share with everyone is a really important court case that just came out of South Australia just this week, where the Supreme Court ruled that no red light camera in South Australia has been tested in accordance with the law, and it's now thrown all outstanding red light camera fines into doubt. So again, I'm going to show you the article quickly here. I'm going to read you the title, and I urge you all to read it for yourselves. So this is just from ABC News, and it's entitled, Adelaide Man Gets Off Red Light Camera Fine Because No One Tested Cars Going Through It on Red. Yes, you heard that correctly. As insane as that sounds, that's what's actually happened. It says an Adelaide man had a red light camera fine overturned because it was never tested while cars were going through the intersection on a red light. David Woolmer has won his appeal in South Australia's Supreme Court in a similar judgment to one handed down in 2016, and again, I urge you to go and read that case too, that led to a range of speeding fines being overturned. Justice Greg Parker found that regulations requiring red light cameras to be tested with cars going through the intersection on a red light had not been followed, rendering Mr. Woolmer's fine and conviction in the Magistrates' Court invalid. Justice Parker found that evidence from the Magistrates' Court showed the camera had not been tested in accordance with the regulations. And this is straight out of the ruling. It says, "Thus, I am satisfied on the balance of probabilities that the appellant has provided proof contrary to the facts asserted in the certificates signed by Inspector Healy under Section da-da-da of the Road Traffic Act." Now, this is very important because people say, oh, you know, you can't take a fine to court because they have a certificate and you can't challenge the certificate. Yes, you most assuredly can. Okay, and again, this is why this book is so important. If you are a motorist in this country and you do not have this book, please grab it now. Again, there's a link in the description, up, down, sideways, wherever it happens to be. Okay, this is absolutely by far and away the best motoring investment you will ever make. They explain all of these issues with the cameras. They explain the fundamental flaw with all speed cameras. No speed detection device currently in use in Australia has been certified or tested to comply with Section 10 of the National Measurement Act. None of them, and most people haven't got a clue about this. You'll be amazed at what goes on. You'll be amazed at what they call scientific instruments and how many faults and flaws they have. Okay, this book not only contains that three-step process that we've spoken about for challenging all types of fines, but it actually includes excerpts from the actual manufacturer's training manuals that they give to the police that show and explain why those devices are so inaccurate. So again, please go to the AussieSpeedingFines.com website and grab a copy of that book, because there are so many loopholes, if you want to call them that, or failures to comply with the law, which is a more accurate description, that most people have no idea about, and they go on every day. Now, this is an important part of the article that I want to read, so people get why it's so important to get that book now. It says, law firm Stanley Law, which represented Mr. Woolmer on Tuesday, released a statement stating the consequences of this case would be far-reaching. Without any changes by South Australia Police, this will affect all unfinalised fines and charges in court, it said. Lawyer Karen Stanley said the judgment will not affect finalised matters such as paid fines and court convictions because the defendant must take positive steps at the time to challenge them. However, this judgment is clear that the testing requirements have not been complied with on a systemic level. So I urge you, go and read the legislation in your state, see what the requirements are, and see whether those devices have been tested correctly in your state. But again, the key there was it does not affect any cases that have already gone to court or anyone who's paid a fine. Please grab this book before you get a fine. Don't wait till it's already happened. Okay, because when you've got this book, you know what to look out for. You learn what to say, what not to say, what to do, what not to do, that could avoid you getting a fine in the first place. And if you do still get a fine by having this information, it's going to put you in the absolute best possible position to be able to challenge and defeat that fine. All right, now, there's so much information. This is the other thing I wanted to share with people. I've shared it with people before, but they still don't get how corrupt the system is. This is the Road Rules Victoria publication. It actually tells you it's not law. The following document, this is the opening page 1 line. The following document entitled Road Rules Victoria is published by the Roads Corporation, Vic Roads, to enable the contents to be adopted as law in Victoria. To enable the contents means the contents aren't currently abled. To be adopted as law in Victoria means that they are not currently law in Victoria. Okay, again, I urge you, whatever state you're in this country, go and read that publication for yourself, because these entities tell you it's not law, yet people still get this fancy piece of paper with a logo on the top and just send money in. Stop doing it, okay? All right. Now, another thing that's come up, I've had 3 people, as honest as I'm standing here, I've had 3 people just this week email me saying, listen, I'm just about to lose my license. I got fines for small things. I paid them. I went on the 12-month, good behaviour bond. I've just got another fine. What do I do? Yeah, it's almost too late then. Please don't wait till it's too late. Get this stuff now. All right. Now, the other super exciting news that I want to share with you all tonight was we've actually been working very closely with our printers. A lot of people have asked us to bring out various products. People have asked for hats and for t-shirts and things like that. And we are working on a few other things. But one thing that we have decided on and that we have created is these brand new Know Your Rights tote bags. Now, I'm not sure how clearly it comes out on the camera here, but these are actually, it's actually like a raised print that's printed on there, and I reckon they look fantastic. They're a really good size, as you can see in here. They can fit all your books in there. They can fit your 3 books. They can fit your laptop. They can put heaps of shopping in there. And these are a really great way for people to be wandering around and helping spread the word and teaching people, about their rights and of course about the Know Your Rights group. So what we've been doing is we just got those through yesterday. So anyone that's ordered any of our combo packs, so the 3-book combo packs, the Ultimate pack, the Ultimate Platinum pack, any of those larger packs, we're including one of those bags completely free of charge. And if anyone's interested in them, you want to buy a single bag to run around and do your shopping, or you want to buy a 3-pack of them, we've just put those up on the website tonight, so you can order those. But again, anyone who orders any of our combo packs will get one of those included as a bonus, no extra cost. We're throwing that in for everyone, and we reckon they look pretty good. And they're pretty tough, they're pretty solid, they're pretty handy. So if they're of interest to you, please go to the website and grab those. All right, now I do need to finish off on a little bit of a downer, and that is the fact that unfortunately it appears that Melburnians will not be opening up, or at least not opening up to the degree that they were hoping on the 19th of October, because of course Daniel Andrews is prattling on again about the figures, and the figures aren't going to allow us to do this. And again, they're all fundamentally flawed anyway. We've explained that to the nth degree on these videos, and that of course again is going to cause even further financial hardship for people. So again, if you're one of these people that's being affected financially, I urge you, please grab a copy of this Bank Secrets Revealed book. It has the tried, tested and proven 4-step process for discharging all unsecured loans. That's personal loans, credit cards. We know a lot of people are doing it tough. We know a lot of people are going to continue doing it tough in the coming months. So please stop throwing good money after bad on these unsecured loans. Get your head around this information and challenge them. We've again read out heaps of testimonials. There's been lots uploaded to their website. People having some really, really good success with this. Now, again, this is not obviously something that just affects Victorians. This affects people in every state. I heard that in Queensland, the Premier there is refusing to potentially open the borders to New South Wales because they've had 5 new cases or something that can't be traced, and they're about to reset the 28-day clock. I've heard that the WA Premier is refusing to open their borders until the entire country has had 0 cases for 28 days. I mean, who knows when that's ever going to be possible. Again, WA is very isolated. It relies on people coming from other states. That's obviously not going to happen. Queensland, I mean, the majority of their industry is tourism, and that's all being severely stifled because the Premier is refusing to open their borders. So this is something that's impacting everybody. So again, I urge you, please keep the pressure on. Keep bombarding your members of parliament with those emails, with those My Will letters. Express your will. Explain to them how you're hurting, how you're suffering. Tell them they are responsible for your hurting and suffering, for your financial position, for all these problems that they are causing. And the more people that do that, the quicker we can change this. And the results that we've just seen recently with the scrapping of that, or at least that section of the Omnibus Bill, is absolute proof positive that these strategies really do work. So you're all in a really unique position to be able to do something with that. So I'm going to leave it there for tonight. Obviously, we're heading into yet another weekend of continued lockdowns still here in Melbourne. As I said, a lot of the other states have still got their borders closed. So this is still stuff that affects a lot of people. So please, as always, jump on our websites. All the links are in the description. Okay, get informed, get fired up, and get proactive. Hope you all have a fantastic weekend. I'll talk to you all again on Sunday night.